Hey guys, hope you're having another amazing day, because I've got something special for you. I'm going to show you how I set up my 360-degree view camera system on my new Ainavi X6 13.1-inch Android head unit. So let's get into it, shall we?
Well, it's been a while, guys. I noticed lots of you are curious about the 360 view system on the new X6 Android head unit. If you haven't seen my 360 view install on my notorious Corolla, you should really check out that video series first, as it shows exactly what's involved, and the nitty-gritty of how to confidently wire things up in your car yourself. Trust me, it's worth a look. So just to recap, the 360-degree view system is a third-party 4-camera setup in my car that is processed live by my supported Ainavi Android head unit. It splices, stitches, and 3D maps all 4 views in real time, giving me the ultimate ability to have an outer-body experience, with views floating above and around my Corolla, useful for checking blind spots and parking. It's been super amazing. I've often compared this to the real-life GTA video game experience, although I think you might not want to play it as you normally would. Now, as you guys know, I recently reviewed the 13-inch Ainavi X6, so I thought I'd dedicate this to all those who followed me on this amazing journey of getting every bit of luxury that our car manufacturers deprive us from. DIY style, of course. So here's the update. My 360 view system has survived all 4 seasons, even better than I thought, through the harsh Canadian winter. Unfortunately, my Corolla still lives up to its infamous name, as I recently must have drove through a swarm of glass-piercing mosquitoes, looking at all the bug splatter around, so I need a new replacement for my front camera. Let's first hook up the existing cables from my previous H5, H6 setup. If you remember, all 4 camera cables are color-coded and connect directly to the 12-pin adapter I previously attached to the X6. Again, this 360 camera kit was not included in my X6 package unless you buy it directly as an add-on from Ainavi themselves, which I would always recommend if you want complete support, as well as avoid a one-time activation fee, which I'll discuss later. Here are the 4 camera connectors I previously installed going to each side of my car. Make sure you align the arrows and plug each connector firmly in, because you'd be surprised how often people neglect this step. Once all 4 pairs are connected, it's pretty much operational and ready for testing. To set the Ainavi X6 into 360 mode, we'll need to go to the reverse settings menu, then select HD 360 reversing. This will restart your unit. I get a lot of questions about where can I download this 360 app. The straight answer is that you can't. The actual 360 functionality is baked into the Ainavi unit, so that it can perform core level operations such as switching views while reversing, steering, and utilize other canvas-related data. It's all tuned directly into the operating system. Once finished restarting, you'll find a new app called 360 Panoramic View, and you may get a message like this if you didn't order your 360 cameras from Ainavi and want to use other third-party cameras. The 360 app is actually a licensed piece of software that requires a one-time activation fee to Ainavi. You'll need to send them your QR code as well so they can process your request. It's unit-specific. After Ainavi confirms activation of your 360 view system, connect to the internet, open up the app, hit the gear icon, go to the version menu again, and if successful, your 360 view system will immediately turn to activated, which now allows you complete access to the app and its online marketplace. Now, there's a ton of 3D vehicle models to purchase. I'd be really surprised if I can't find my Corolla here this time. Now back to replacing my broken camera. I went ahead and ordered yet again another set of 360 cameras, since I only needed the front and rear type cameras in my current setup. I noticed right away a difference in quality with these new cameras. After swapping out the broken camera with the replacement, I soon learned not all camera systems stay the same. It seems I have to replace all 4 cameras, which I wasn't prepared to do. So the lesson to take away is to buy an extra set of cameras if you can, in case in the future you need to do a direct drop-in replacement like I need to do. So thinking on my feet, I did have my old side cameras which came from my original set. I decided to take one apart since the shape was obviously wrong for a front camera. In case you're curious, here's what the sensor looks like. My idea was to make it even more slim looking, using silicone to waterproof the camera. Now it won't win any beauty points, but hopefully it gives me the ability to position it in the front. Unfortunately, it half worked. I noticed that somewhere in the process, the lens became unfocused, so sadly I had to scrap this whole idea. Obviously, this is my final desperation move. It's literally a zip tie, my other side camera, and some 3M automotive tape. Funny enough, I'm actually surprised how well this works. It's been super solid and well tested, and also angled properly downwards. This should be a good temporary fix until I replace all my cameras. So if you recall from my 360 camera video, we have to take some measurements of our car. The Ainavi X6 has the same simple guide that shows exactly what measurements we need to take. Hit the Calibrate button and enter the code 8888. Then hit the top Calibrate button. Then select the cloth we'll be using later. In this case, it's the 4.4 meter one. Here you can see all 4 individual camera views, which is helpful to do some alignment. As you can see, ideally my right camera still needs to be adjusted horizontally. However, the software is quite lenient in correcting minor distortions like this. The fisheye table is the type of lens you have, which I think the top one is the most common out there, so I'll leave this setting as is. Hit Calibration Aid. Here's where we need to input our measurements. I happen to have my measurements already from last time, where I used a laser measurer and a block of wood. Make sure you check out that video for details. As you can see, the X6 shows you exact diagrams on where to measure, so it's pretty easy. Now importantly, everything should be in centimeters only. And guys, feel free to pause this video at any time. I suggest taking and writing down your own measurements so you have them ready to do your final setup. Going back, we now have these 4 measurements here. If you press and hold the question mark icon, it will quickly display where you need to take your measurements. Now I purposely left these last because for some reason my values kept on resetting when I left this screen. It was until I started my cloth calibration where it finally stuck, so let's continue with the next step. It's time to put down the cloth. Again, this is purely optional. The calibration cloth itself is pretty overpriced for what it's worth, but for convenience, it does save a lot of time. This day was a bit windy, so it helps to place some stuff on top to hold it down. It would be best to wait for a day to not have any wind at all. Of course, you want to do this on a flat surface, like a driveway or parking lot. I use the tires on each side to make sure they're exactly perpendicular. Also, make sure the centers are lined up and decide on a measurement between the car and the cloth. Back in the calibration menu, let's now enter those values we left off from before. Then hit the one-click splicing button to have it work its magic. Oh yeah, remember to close the door. Well, almost flawless this time. The AI just got the wrong squares for the front camera. This isn't really an issue. We can make all the visual adjustments here. Every 4 numbers represents a square going from the top left to the top right, then bottom left to bottom right. We can easily drag each point to its corner, then using the top mini zoom window to make micro adjustments. I think this is the most fun you'll have out of the whole process. We can use the bottom navigational arrows to switch between numbers. This is where I love the X6 screen, as it's so big that we can refine each position easily. We'll want to switch between each camera view and adjust each point if needed. Once you're happy, hit the Calibrate button. There we go. Everything seems to be stitched up properly now. Again, try not to do this on a windy day. But as you can see, my dynamic steering lines are now lined up in the correct perspective. Real cool. Let's go back to the calibration menu. Hit the real-time calibration button. And here we can further make adjustments to our 360 view. The additional buttons and sliders can help you align the picture if things look a bit off. You can see what kind of effect each sliders have. The general goal is to have everything straight and overlapped properly. Another tip I discovered is that when you hit the arrows next to the sliders, it can actually go past the maximum values it allows than when you drag it. And when you're done, hit the Save and Exit button. Now that the calibration is complete, here's how it looks like on the road. Normally, I wouldn't have it open like this, but it's still really mesmerizing to see this kind of technology on my Corolla. In case you guys didn't see my other video, the 360 app can be run at any time. Now, usually, I'll only have my Android Auto on while driving. By default, signaling will automatically turn on the view, then return me back to my Android Auto, or whatever app I was previously on. Same goes with reversing. It's all pretty intuitive to use. Like I said before in my previous video, this system is a great tool for drivers navigating in tight areas, or just have difficulties driving in reverse. Another useful tip I found is using parking lines to help align your cameras as well. So I'd like to take the time and go through some of the common features and settings I think many of you would be interested in. Under the IOV menu, you can change much of the visuals and car models of the 360 system. You can hit the More Vehicles button to access the 3D model marketplace. Again, you'll need internet access here. There's literally hundreds of 3D car models here available to download. Of course, it depends on which 360 package you bought from Ainavi. You may need to purchase your 3D models separately. Of course, you can also change your car to any color you want. Just like in the Ainavi H5, H6, you can change the styles of the dynamic steering lines to emulate other car brands. the gloss or sheen of your 3D car model can also be different. Now, some of the camera buttons do have secondary views, such as the left and right view. You can switch between them by tapping their icon the second time. Under the settings menu, there's an assortment of options. Some are pretty self-explanatory, some for specific situations, like turning on the 360 view system when the emergency hazard light is pressed, or enabling or disabling the side view when the turn signal is active. You can also display a standard secondary ruler on the reverse cam if you're still used to that. There's an Adjust View menu, which allows you to do just that for every predefined view. Every view has a default setting, which you can slightly customize if you wanted to. I tend to leave these alone, since overall I haven't had many issues. If you needed to adjust the color and brightness, we can simply press and hold the view for a few seconds to bring up the settings. The Ainavi X6 is also powerful enough to have the 360 app run in a picture-in-picture overlay while you interact with things in the background, which is pretty amazing. So guys, there you have it. Definitely impressive, and absolutely a showstopper for sure. The Ainavi X6 and the integrated 360 view camera system really goes hand in hand to enhance your driving experience, as well as being darn right cool at the same time. I do hope that I've inspired you in some way to open your mind and enjoy your car more, the way you're supposed to. Don't let the limitations hold you back in getting the good things you deserve. Again, I am no professional, so I recommend seeking out a local expert if you need assistance. Now, if you liked what you've seen, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Hit that like button, and if you decided that you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to this humble YouTube channel, as it helps me create more videos like this. Alright, cheers.